Whatever we do it together.
What's going on, everybody? This is DK Dynamite for some breaking news about Treyarch returning for Call of Duty Vanguard, an official announcement about the reveal events, and even information about PlayStation exclusivity. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below to make sure you guys stay up to date with everything going on in both Black Ops Cold War and even Vanguard. I took the past weekend off to make sure I rejuvenate my energy for the busy week that we have ahead of us, and make sure you guys have notifications on to make sure you don't miss any of the breaking news about the upcoming Call of Duty. But also, as a heads up, you guys never see the word leaked in my titles because it's not the kind of content I want to post, not the kind of coverage I want to be known for. But although some COD partners do put leaked in their title from time to time, but then tweet out saying that you can't post that kind of content to be partnered, I'll let you guys know that always make sure that we respect the surprises that developers have in store for us, and I'll make sure that I cover what seems appropriate while also keeping it real with you guys at all times. Hopefully it makes sense. PlayStation did an oopsie earlier this morning at about 5 AM Central my time, accidentally revealing on the PSN store that the Battle of Verdansk event would be this Thursday at 10:30 AM Pacific inside of Warzone. This is the equivalent of the event that we got last year revealing Cold War to us. But I'm not sure how somebody at PlayStation was like, oh yeah, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, let's just go ahead and market the next Call of Duty, since Activision's probably okay with that. And all of a sudden, they took the post down on the PSN store, but has put it back up at the time of posting this video. Now, I'm also curious what the changes are going to be to PlayStation exclusivity for Call of Duty Vanguard, considering, as of recently, according to an insider, a contract fell through between Activision and Sony regarding Modern Warfare 3 Remastered, so I'm not sure if the allegations made against Activision Blizzard have affected the partnership with Sony. I'm assuming it probably hasn't, at least not anything more than Modern Warfare 3, but maybe it's also possible we get a Vanguard-themed PS5, since I was hoping we would have got a black PS5 last year to coincide with the launch of Cold War, but we didn't end up getting that. Maybe we'll end up getting a World War II Vanguard-themed PS5 that's probably going to sell out like hotcakes, or will be taken by all the scalpers at some point this fall. But we then got an official announcement and title reveal trailer earlier by the Call of Duty YouTube channel, in which they showcased the dynamic weather that we're going to be seeing across all the modes in the game. And they essentially put together all the teaser clips they sent out to influencers. There were about, I think, 5 to 6 clips that were sent to different people around the community, and these clips do showcase all of the fronts that Vanguard's going to be focusing on in the campaign itself. So this is going to be a real diverse game, which I'm looking forward to, because it's going to be taking what World War II was trying to accomplish in 2017 to a whole other level by continuing that level of historical accuracy, but then also telling some original stories that I think will better convey what really happened during the Second World War. Now, there is a lot of real World War II history being conveyed in this trailer, with the Soviet sniper Lady Death, who also appeared in a Warzone ending cutscene a couple of days ago. We're also going to know more about the first black paratrooper to land on D-Day, and so much more. I mean, it's great that they're going to be taking a lot of stories that were never told in Call of Duty before and fleshing them out here with this brand new Call of Duty title. And of course, Sledgehammer is a much bigger studio now, so they'll be able to handle a lot more on their plate as they were able to a few years ago. You can also see some faces in this trailer, which had me interested, but it's also a bit creepy at the same time. I'm wondering what this symbolism is going to be for. I'm wondering who these faces belong to, and they probably belong to some of the main protagonists that we're going to have in this game. As they say at the end of the trailer, whatever we do it together. So we're going to be focusing on multiple fronts, multiple protagonists, and we did get a beautiful logo reveal at the very end. So I'm sure this game at one point was called World War II Vanguard, but they're like, you know what, let's shorten up that title just for the sake of content creators, right? We have Black Ops Cold War, which takes up a lot of space in a YouTube title. We're going to keep it simple this year with just Call of Duty Vanguard. Now that's going to be awesome for content creators out there, but I do feel like this is the real World War II game they probably wanted to make a few years ago, but probably didn't have enough resources, the studio size, or even the time, and even the leadership to pull off something on a much bigger scale like this. Don't get me wrong, right? World War II in 2017 was a great game, but you can definitely tell there was ambition to do even more, but it just couldn't be done. And now I think it's definitely possible they pull off what could be one of the strongest Call of Duty titles in many, many years. We then got an interesting post on the Call of Duty Instagram page, revealing more details about the live event itself, which likely isn't canon to the timeline in 80s Verdansk, but it's just going to serve as an introduction to what we should expect over in November for the Warzone integration. So we first see mention of of a new weapon rolling into Verdansk. Now we then see mention of assets in the field suggesting an armored vehicle, which I'm going to say right now is likely the Panzer Zug that's been rumored for months. Unless plans have changed, we've heard mention of an armored train popping up over in Verdansk to reveal the next Call of Duty. We heard about that, I think it was all the way back in March. Could have even been sooner than that, if I'm not mistaken. But in the past few months, they may have changed how the reveal event is going to work to kind of keep the stakes high, make sure the community is still surprised by the end of it, since the Nuke event not too long ago just didn't deliver what I thought it was going to. I mean, there were rumors about all types of things happening during that event, which seem to have been scrapped, and a lot of the things that were going to happen in the Nuke event may have been saved for this Vanguard reveal instead. You never know, but I know a couple of days ago it was a bit confusing since some insiders and journalists were claiming that apparently the reveal trailer for this game would not be connected to the event in Warzone, and it looks like that just wasn't the case. And that's why I said take everything with a grain of salt, because you never know what's going to happen. Plans may have changed, some insiders may have been fed false information on purpose, who knows what can happen there. But my original theory was that maybe they would save a Warzone event for the full integration and transition to this World War II themed Battle Royale map in November, but nope, it's like last year with Cold War. They're going to reveal the new game over in Warzone. It seems to be the new trend for Activision that's clearly working for them. But I also wonder if they'll somehow say that time and space are broken and we have content from other time periods bleeding into the 80s. They may just pull a COD Mobile and say anything goes, right? These reveal events are just for the sake of marketing and aren't canon to the story in any way, or they'll somehow rewrite history a bit and try to say that somehow a World War II train has popped up over in Verdansk 84. You never know. But the craziest part of the news today, at least for me, was seeing that the countdown on PlayStation's website does credit High Moon, Beenox, Raven, Sledgehammer, and even Treyarch for development of Call of Duty Vanguard. So what's interesting about this is it lines up perfectly with the rumors that even Charlie Intel reported on not too long ago that Treyarch will be leading Zombies development for the next Call of Duty. And Treyarch's been in a real interesting cycle of nearly overworking themselves, right? From the issues in Black Ops 4, taking over COD 2020, and now this. So various insiders have claimed that this is part of a much larger plan for Treyarch to really revolutionize Zombies and possibly take control of every Zombies iteration going forward for even games that are made by Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, even Raven. Now, I'm sure at some point for COD 2023, Treyarch will end up making their own campaign and multiplayer again, but what if Activision changes this going forward, where only Treyarch works on Zombies, and then Raven can work on campaigns, Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward work on multiplayers? I'm not sure how they're going to restructure this, but I'm just hoping that this doesn't impact their development on COD 2023 by any means, because how unfortunate would it be if Treyarch's next game in 2023 comes out and everybody's saying, oh, well, it could have been better, it could have been this, could have had that, and maybe that's a direct result of them being too busy working on Zombies modes for these other developers. But I'm also sure there's likely a plan to do a standalone free-to-play Zombies app that's kind of similar to Warzone, which again stands on its own 2 feet and could even get updates by other developers in the future, which would definitely include a superior version of Outbreak and maybe even round-based without a doubt. But like I mentioned when Cold War's Outbreak first came out in February, Outbreak is setting a new precedent for how Call of Duty Zombies is going to work in the future. I mean, round-based will probably always be there, but you will start to see that Outbreak / Warzone takeover above typical round-based and typical 6v6 multiplayer. Now, a lot of us did want a year or two for Black Ops Cold War, myself included, but as we know, the Call of Duty cycle isn't going anywhere, but this is the closest we're going to get to that. If you were like, oh, it's a Sledgehammer game, I'm not interested, maybe you're more interested now since Treyarch's going to be involved. I mean, if Activision has numbers that say that Treyarch titles perform the best, then having them involved in every other Call of Duty title is going to be beneficial for everybody involved. I mean, it's if you like Treyarch games, of course, but I think to Activision, they're like, you know what, we can't possibly go wrong with having Treyarch at least do the Zombies, while other developers can focus on some bigger features like a Warzone integration, a campaign, a headquarters feature, multiplayer. I mean, if you guys want more 6v6 content, maybe this is the way. Maybe having certain developers work on certain modes ensures the biggest output possible every time a new season drops for that said Call of Duty. Now, I've seen a lot of whispers and rumors around the community regarding Vanguard being canon to Call of Duty World at War and kind of being a part of this new timeline that's being established where it goes from World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops Cold War, and then Modern Warfare 2019. No other COD games that we know of now are canon to that. The community recently noticed that there are distinct similarities between Task Force 141 and the Task Force Vanguard group, which does have a ghost-looking logo on it. So maybe it's going to be the origins of the task force that we have in the Modern Warfare universe. I mean, we know Captain Price's grandfather, I believe, was in one of the first Call of Duties to ever release. I think it was COD 2 or COD 3. So maybe we end up getting an Easter egg in Vanguard that shows Captain Price's father or grandfather serving or playing a role of some sort. Could be a small Easter egg similar to Kravchenko and Zakhaev over in the Cold War campaign. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Reznov pop up through even a mission of sorts that perfectly blends together all these games? I mean, I would love to see more connection to Black Ops 1, or even a bit of a prequel to characters like Steiner and Dragovich, Kravchenko. I mean, maybe there's some type of story to be told when they were younger during the Second World War. Now, what I'll predict right now is that during either the PlayStation State of Play event coming up soon, or even Gamescom by the end of the month, is when we'll end up getting an announcement about the Vanguard Alpha, which is rumored to start at the end of this month. And the Alpha will supposedly contain a mode called Champion Hill, only available for PlayStation players. This new mode, Champion Hill, is going to be, I guess, a hybrid between Gunfight, Fireteam, and Warzone, the special mode of the game, so to speak, that gets constant updates every single season. The current date for the alpha is set for August 27th. Now, I am aware that people out there who do have computers and are very curious have already found a lot of references and proof in the Cold War files that the Vanguard Alpha is right around the corner and should be in August. But all that aside, sticking with official information here, we'll likely get an announcement like we got last year during a PlayStation event when we got confirmed that the Cold War Alpha would be exclusive to PS4 during, I think it was early September. So if this is the case, we'll likely be seeing the Alpha for just PS4 and PS5 in the next couple of weeks. Now, according to insider Tom Henderson, this Champion Hill mode will contain the following content: lives count, be the last team with lives to win, eliminated enemies to reduce their life count. Earn cash, grab cash, weapons, lives, and armor from arenas. And this almost resembles Heist from Black Ops 4, which never got many updates post-release, but definitely deserves some. That mode was a lot of fun, but just didn't get many changes made to it after some of the operations dropped. We also have buy stations. Buy weapons, lives, perks, and streaks in the Octagon. Upgrade your weapons anytime. So you guys see what I'm getting at here, right? Definitely a hybrid of kind of a Gunfight, Fireteam, and Warzone all offer, and it will be the special mode of Vanguard, which sounds really exciting. So it also seems like there's going to be a PlayStation exclusive beta on top of this. So like I said, unless you don't care about exclusivity and other benefits that come with getting a PS4 and PS5, then get a PlayStation if you want access to everything being released for future Call of Duty titles, right? I know it's not easy to get a PS5, but if you care about anything to do with exclusive content, then at least get your hands on a PS4. I've seen a lot of complaints over the past year with Cold War about Xbox and PC not having Onslaught, and it's like, I know not everybody can do it, but if you seriously care about that exclusive content, then try your best to get a PlayStation, because that contract is not ending anytime soon from what we currently understand. Now, I also wanted to bring up a very important topic that I was going to mention in a previous video, but that video ended up being way too long, so I scrapped it, and that is anti-cheat. So a big announcement about that is that anti-cheat is finally going to be dropping with the launch of Vanguard. But let me correct that, right? Not just anti-cheat, a better anti-cheat, because in case you guys weren't aware, an anti-cheat does currently exist for Warzone, but you know, the internet, people have broken through those security measures and have obviously been hacking in Verdansk for many months now. Maybe you've even seen some hacks across some of the multiplayers, Modern Warfare, Cold War. It happens. It's very real. It's an issue. Everybody knows that. But I think it was a bit inappropriate and almost immature for a lot of multi-millionaires who made their careers off Warzone to not address situation in the right way, right? Instead of tweeting every single day, oh, the game sucks, the game needs an anti-cheat, how about, hey, at Raven, come and get even a hint or an emoji that something's being worked on. We need a better anti-cheat. Obviously, an anti-cheat exists to an extent. How do you think thousands of people get banned every single couple of months, right? Clearly, an anti-cheat is there. It's just not very good. But according to other gaming journalists, an anti-cheat has been in development for nearly 13 months now, and the fact it's taken that long probably means Activision wants to also use this across their other IPs, and it'll just be a general anti-cheat from Activision that works for just their games, not using an anti-cheat that was made by other developers or engineers out there. FaZe Swag recently got interviewed, and in that interview, he had mentioned that he had a call with Activision, talk about the cheating, and they had told him that something was coming. So that was also some promising news. But lastly here with this topic, Raven themselves finally addressed it on Twitter, surprisingly. I'm not sure what took so long, but maybe there was some legality, maybe there was something that prevented them from mentioning it sooner, but they finally addressed it, saying they know what the community is saying, they've heard us, and they are going to have an announcement about something soon. So one thing I will say is an anti-cheat 100% will be implemented, a very strong one that is. But once that does happen, I do see another issue probably forming in the community. It's not going to be crying about anti-cheat, SBMM. It's going to be, why does this anti-cheat have to scan our whole PCs just to play Call of Duty? Because there are other games out there like Fortnite, Overwatch that have kernel-level anti-cheats that scan your entire computer upon either booting up the PC or upon booting up that said game. And yeah, if there was ever a data breach, your information may get put out there on the internet. It's a scary thing. So it's almost like you have to play Call of Duty on a burner PC to make sure none of your personal information gets leaked eventually. I get it, right? There's some consequences for having a strong anti-cheat if something serious like a data breach would ever happen. But I can definitely see people complaining about that a lot once this does release at some point, likely with the launch of Vanguard. But I'm also wondering if the release of this anti-cheat with Vanguard also paves the way for maybe a next-gen enhancement for Warzone, just for PS5 and Xbox Series X, that may or may not also include addition of an FOV slider, which has been heavily requested for the past couple of months. But the way Infinity Ward built Warzone with Raven was for last-gen platforms, right? The game wasn't made for PS5 and Xbox Series X. That would require more engineering and a significant enhancement through an updated application or a separate client entirely that hopefully we'll end up seeing sooner than later. We also have the suspicious Twitter account known as Victor that pops up every once in a blue moon, right? Once every couple of months. Almost seems like a marketing setup by Activision at this point. A very suspicious account. And he went ahead and mentioned a blind fire type of feature, which you know for a fact is going to be required for unlocking camos and various challenges in Vanguard. You could definitely tell, right? Get headshots, you know, get kills without attachments, and then probably get blind fire kills that we've seen a feature like in many other popular shooters that are in the gaming industry. So this is a cool feature that may get frustrating in multiplayer, something to get used to, but it's something I figured I would bring up in the case you guys are interested in the specifics about the upcoming Call of Duty. We also got a mention from an insider, the Modern Warfare 2 Ghost, about score streaks being changed a little bit in Call of Duty Vanguard. So it's unclear what changes are being made to it, but I'm curious if it's going to be the same controversial score streak system that's currently in Black Ops Cold War. I personally don't mind the system, even though me of all people would say, yeah, it's kind of a hand-holding system, right? Everybody can get their score streaks even when they die. I get that, but when I go for nukes, I don't plan on dying anyway. I have to go flawless to get that, so I'll be getting my streaks regardless. But I do get it. It's frustrating if somebody's camping the whole game, gets killed a few times, but then goes on a couple of small gun streaks. They then get a gunship. They then get a harp. I get it. It's frustrating, but I'm sure Sledgehammer is going to figure out a way to kind of balance that to where it does appeal to casuals as Activision wants it to, but is still intended for players that are good at the game. Current score streaks that are rumored are as follows: the Recon Station, not sure what that is, a care package, and a Juggernaut. And concept art was posted by some insiders as well as to what the Juggernaut may look like over in Vanguard multiplayer. It's not the real image, but there you go. We also have mention of at least 2 multiplayer maps right now, one set in Japan, one set in Africa. So what I'm assuming is that we're going to be getting multiplayer maps across the entire world, and rightfully so, right? World War II was massive. People out there calling World War II boring or overused blew my mind, because the Second World War was, to me, one of the most significant wars in goddamn human history, right? It was insane, and not in good ways either. I mean, there was a lot of brutality, lots of problems, so many people were involved. I mean, the Second World War has so much to cover that I don't think 1, 2, or even 3 Call of Duties can possibly cover, no matter how much content they post out. And we've only had 2 other World War II CODs, World at War in 2008, and then World War II 2017. It's not overdone at this point, at least in my opinion. We also got mention of Gunsmith having a 10 attachment system. Modern Warzone went ahead and posted, I think it was a redrawn version of this, so concept art to visualize what he has seen behind the scenes. And I know Modern Warzone also posted he's not going to be posting leaks anymore just for the sake of keeping his brand alive. And I get it, right? That's what we all want. We all want to have a bit of a gray area where we can talk about rumors while covering official news, while not crossing the line and posting quote-unquote leaks that can impact our ability to work closely with Activision in the future. I totally understand that, and I talked about this so many times in the podcast and in videos. Yeah, sometimes the news is spicy, but I'll cover what seems appropriate if Charlie Intel or COD partners are talking about it, but I'm not going to go ahead and show leaked gameplay or, you know, leaked images that obviously will get me a copyright strike. I understand that. But, you know, there should be a clear set of rules for everybody out there. If COD partners can talk about these rumors from Twitter, I think everybody should, as long as you're not crossing the line, spoiling too many surprises, and as long as you're respecting developers who work day in, day out on these games. But that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the breaking news about Treyarch's involvement in the next Call of Duty? How do you feel about the official announcement about the Battle of Verdansk event? And also, what are you thinking about the PlayStation exclusivity for Sledgehammer's new title? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.